Hey guys, it's Roscoe, and on Space Catch today I want to talk to you about a company called Rocket Lab. Now, this is a New Zealand firm that designs and builds sounding rockets. You know, the ones that just go up into the atmosphere and back again, take a few measurements, photos of the sun or whatever, that sort of thing. Also, small satellite launch systems and the propulsion systems, the engines obviously. Now, it's founded by a guy called Peter Beck, and he's also the company's CEO and technical director. A bit like, I guess he's like the Elon Musk of Rocket Lab, you know, in that Elon has got multiple roles at SpaceX. Chief designer, chief technology officer, CEO, all of that, let's say. Founded Rocket Labs, this guy, in 2007 with seed money from internet entrepreneur Mark Rocket. Hence the name, I believe, although it might just be a coincidence, I'm not certain. So, December 2010, they're awarded a contract by the American Operationally Responsive Office, the ORS. To study how feasible a low-cost launcher would be to put nanosats, for instance, into orbit, or possibly CubeSats. They also received funding from other venture capitalist firms in 2013 and 2014. Their principal backer being a firm called Kozler Ventures. They invest a lot in these tech startup for this sort of enterprise. Anyway, they're very interested in that. Now, as of February this year, 2015, Rocket Labs USA was looking at Cape Canaveral as a possible launch site, and there has been there's a lot of work going on the various launch pads there on the Space Coast at the moment. Obviously, SpaceX for the pad is at 39A, I think ULA with 39B, and they're also doing like a little like mobile sort of launch pad for these small rockets as well. So yes, possibly they'll be launching from Canaveral. Now, Rocket Labs, they've developed the Atea 1 and the Atea 2. That's Maori for space. Now, the one first launched in late 2009. 6 meters long, weighed 60 kilograms, can carry a 2 kilogram payload up to an altitude of 120 kilometers. And the 2 is still under development, obviously. Now, in July 2014, the company announced the Electron rocket. What's interesting about this is it would be a carbon composite, the stages. Obviously, that's been quite a difficult technology problem in the past because of the fuels that you're using, and obviously they have to be cooled way down to sub-zero temperatures, way past sub-zero. And carbon composites often have trouble dealing with those lower temperatures. Hopefully, they may well have cracked that technology problem, which could indeed be very significant, because obviously most rocket stages, I think it's like steel and stuff like that, you know. Some of the stages can be quite difficult to mate together. In fact, carbon composite could really help out with that. First launch of the Electrons planned for 2015, so this year sometime, and I haven't heard that it's been postponed, so we'll just have to wait and see if that does indeed happen. April 2015, they announced the details of this Electron rocket's engine. It's going to be called the Rutherford, which is quite nice. The main point about this is that this engine is going to be pretty much mostly 3D printed, like the Super Draco thrusters for SpaceX, or those scale models that the ULA have been building, and also NASA for the SLS. Now, being based in New Zealand, they can launch right over the Pacific without any worries, you know. I mean, it's empty for thousands and thousands and thousands of miles from the coast of New Zealand all the way to the coast of South America, you know. So potentially that's a great location, certainly for polar orbits, I believe, that inclination that they've got way down the southern hemisphere. However, given that most of the action, as it were, in this industry is in the United States, they've set up an American office, hence looking at Cape Canaveral, in order to be taken more seriously in the industry. And good luck to them, you know. I mean, again, it's men in their sheds, which we love here on the Space Couch. But apparently they've got up to, I think, 30 commitments for launch. I mean, anything that lowers the cost of access to space, obviously to be welcomed. So let's say, I think they're saying you can launch for $5 million on Rocket Lab's vehicles. So universities will be able to launch their own missions, you know. It certainly helped with the launch of nanosats and CubeSats, like I mentioned, and things like the light sail project that the Planetary Society is doing. You know, obviously deploy a solar sail, travel on the photons. It's a cheap way of flying about the solar system. Obviously, until now, the hardest or the most expensive part is getting up there. A company like Rocket Labs could really help with that. It would be awesome to deploy some little solar sail CubeSats. Send them out to the depths of the solar system, some of those interesting worlds we've talked about on some of my shows. Anyway, guys, that was just a quick overview of Rocket Labs. I thought I'd tell you about them. Always good to see another one of these little competitors, not little competitors, one of these smaller companies. Who knows what they'll grow into? It would be awesome. As always, please subscribe to my channel if you enjoyed this content. Leave me a comment or a suggestion for a topic you'd like to see discussed, or hit that like button.